This video is sponsored by Bityard. With over 400 cryptos to trade on their spot, perpetual coin futures, USDT futures, with leverage of 1x to up to 125x, you can trade foreign exchange, commodities like gold, silver and oil, and traditional markets like Nasdaq, all with some of the lowest fees available on any trading platform. You can use their copy trader to copy other traders with better performance than you, or you can become a copy trader yourself and earn a few extra percent from the people that follow you. Plus, you got 9 out of 10 stars from the Coin Bureau guy. Bityard. Hello everybody, welcome back. So yesterday was boring AF. We said it was going to be a flat boring day and to carry on with the rest of your life, and that if there were to be a decision made, it would be later on. And so wake up this morning and here we go. So we're looking at this on the 4 hourly. We've broken down below that 20,000 range, which is fine, and we're approaching this area, which is basically just a little bit above 19,000. Now I think that what we're looking for basically is a bit of a bounce around here. It doesn't look like there's a great deal to go by when you look at it on a 4 hour, but on a daily it's a little bit more tangible. You see these two candle bodies here basically meandering around these levels. Now obviously, yeah, this is all we've really got to go by for this little tiny piece of short-term price action, so we're not really expecting it to hold forever, but to see a bounce from there is not unlikely. And you know, if this continues, you know, as I'm basically sitting around at my computer, basically, I think I might actually take that trade. You know, maybe try a long position around here. Not the moment that we hit it. I want to see if we wick down below it into these kind of areas, and then I'd probably think about taking a long position on that. Again, just for a little scalpy trade, not for the super reversal or anything like that. I don't think that we're looking to see any kind of major reversal outside of the outside of Bitcoin's 4-year cycle time frame, which again is like September, October, November, before we at least find the bottom, if not start to reverse from there. So it's just going to be continuing with this giant descending triangle formation to which we're in, and easily find a range within here where we can come back up to the top. Again, you know, this is the absolute high of this triangle, I would expect, which is also the summer lows. So 28, 29, 30 maybe at best. If we manage to gain traction, I think it would just be a bit naive to think that we can do that as we speak right now, when the general direction continues to go down. As we see, we just have these giant drops down, basically allowing the Bollinger Bands to basically just shoot all the way down. So I think that we are going to level out around the mid to upper teens for a little while, and maybe try a bounce at some point. But as we see at the moment, there's not really much to go by to expect a bounce outside of the fact that that's just a horizontal of reasonable significance on the short-term time frames. There's nothing really in this chart, to be honest with you, that would suggest anything other than what it's doing, which is going to continue to go sideways and down, sideways and down, and sideways and down. Again, yeah, yesterday we established that our money flow index on the weekly has broken down to an even lower extent. This is the lowest it's ever been. I backtested this on the on a 10-year chart, and yeah, I've never seen this like overreached low on a money flow index. And again, yeah, the one thing I always say about the money flow index is that it's great at spotting tops. It's not great at spotting bottoms, and the only thing that we can look at really historically would be the divergences on the weekly, and divergences generally, they help you find or navigate a bottom. But so far we've not been able to do that here. We've actually stretched all the way down to the depths of hell here. But again, you know, just as we said on this last dive down, that, you know, a divergence is going to be formed at some point, and the lower we go, the more likely it will take, the more likely it will be for a divergence. But at the moment, there's absolutely nothing on this chart, on pretty much any time frame, that's in any way endearing. Not feeling it at all, and that will go across the board for all the altcoins too. Obviously, we made that trade a couple of weeks ago, the 50% gain of your Bitcoin pair trade. That was a good trade, but not last live stream, but the live stream prior to that. And I think on some of my normal YouTube videos, I did say that, you know, I've closed those positions. They've done their business. Not really looking for altcoins particularly to continue. Not at this stage. They could, but the first stage, of that run has been completed. So the things that we'll be looking for, I would just bring XRP up as an example, if it will bring it to me. And again, we just look at the Bitcoin pairs. We look at this on the 4 hourly. We still have our golden crosses. All golden crosses, I always expect them to be retested, so I'd be looking for this to be retested for XRP around, was it 1533 at this very moment, which is also a horizontal support. And then we might look at getting picked up around there, maybe. And if that is the case, then yeah, altcoins will continue. That would be shown on the dominance chart, which again is still meandering around that 20 weekly, whether it's going to bounce or break down, it doesn't even know either. And a quick overview, Dixie continuing to bounce. Oil had a little bit of a pullback yesterday, well, over the last few hours really, but bought straight back up, no big deal. And Nasdaq, this is Nasdaq on your 4 hourly in the pre-market, flat as a pancake still, honestly, flat as a pancake. Got bearish divergence all the way down. With every time we try to make a little run, we get bearish divergence on those. There is a chance that we do continue up, to be honest with you, with the everything bounce. But the everything bounce is mostly based upon the wheat, which is still going down, oil, which was going down. We've talked about oil breaking down from 120, and it did, but it's been picked straight back up. And obviously Dixie, which is floating back up towards that 105, which is a bit of a problem. So, you know, even though my stocks and indice positions are still in profit, yeah, pretty well, I am not particularly convinced. And obviously tomorrow being Friday, if I am going to pull the trigger on stocks and get out of those positions, it would be tomorrow. And I'd imagine, you know, whether I'm in profit or if I'm less in profit, I'm not going to let them go down to zero. You know, I think I'll probably hold them until tomorrow. Even though I still favour the everything bounce continuing, it's hard not to harvest some of that profit, especially when you're up between 10 and 20%, you know, overall with some of these individual stocks. But yeah, looking a little lame, I have to say, but I do favour the idea of a bounce taking place more or less any minute for Bitcoin, but I don't see it having a great deal of power, because even if we go down to the hourly time frames, which sometimes you just have to do that, there's really nothing telling us that something special is going to happen around here on the hourly. So if we're not getting any signals for any kind of powerful or even meager move, then really it is just a matter of hopium pulling the trigger around a horizontal, which again doesn't have an enormous amount of significance, but on the short-term time frames we might. If this area breaks, then yeah, we come back down into the 18,000s and see where we go. I'm not looking for a major continuation though, to be honest with you, and part of the reason for that is the fact that this is so oversold here on the Money Flow Index. It doesn't mean that we can't go lower over time, but I think to expect a deeper dive on the MFI here on the weekly is unrealistic. And even though this isn't going to spot a bottom, it is extremely oversold. And I know that that's a bit of a lame thing to say, oversold or whatever, but it is true. I mean, it is basically oversold at this point. But you know, you could say that about the multitude of altcoins that get oversold and never basically manage to move back up again. Anyway, I will leave it with you there, but thank you for watching, guys. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy, and yeah, have a good one.